Network data and measurement. By far, you should have already understood assumptions and research focuses of social networks, and you have seen some examples of visual representations of social networks. Now it's time to get one step further and get to know the numbers that behind the construction of social networks, so you will understand how would you go with collecting data for constructing social networks and then later on examine their relations. In order to construct social networks, we need to get network dataset in the first place. A network dataset is usually a matrix of numbers of 0 and 1. The rows and columns list the nodes. 1 indicates there is a tie between two nodes, whereas 0 indicates there is no tie between two nodes. In this example, node 6 has ties to 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Alternatively, we can use an arcs list. The left column lists the nodes, and the right column lists the nodes connections. Again, we see node 6 has ties to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It seems a little bit complicated with the matrices, but all you need to understand is that social networks are constructed by numbers of 1 or 0 that indicate a connection or no connection between two nodes. As we reviewed in the last session, there are two types of social networks: egocentric network and global network. To collect data on social networks, we can employ survey methods and ask individuals to report their social connections to us. This is often called the name generator method, introduced by Lohmann in 1966. A name generator is a question that asks respondents to enumerate individuals with whom they share a particular type of relationship. Name interpreters then follow the question of name generator, and they are questions that ask respondents about the attributes such as gender, age, years known of individuals they name in response to the name generator question. For example, these questions are from published papers and researches. Example questions are like, who are the people with whom you discuss matters important to you? Then the interviewee or respondent will give you a list of names that they talk about matters that are important to them. For example, they would list my mom, my dad, and my siblings. Other questions are like, who are the people you enjoy socializing with? And questions are like, can you give a list of people from inside or outside of the village who you can personally rely on for help in casual labor? You can construct a lot of different name-generated questions depending on your social network research questions. After the name-generated question, researchers then ask about the attributes of each of the listed individuals. For example, what's the age of the mother and what income household of the friend listed in the third question. After researchers collect all answers from the respondents with regard to the name generator and name interpreter, they can construct both egocentric and global networks. For instance, suppose there are 5 people in a village. The egocentric networks will be 5 networks with each individual presented at the center, whereas the global network will be one giant network showing all 10 individuals and their connections. The figure on the right shows a global network of households in rural India with regard to their latrine ownership. The researchers used the survey methods to get the network dataset for constructing this network. Later on, they examined the characteristics of the networks to understand how social relationships contribute to individual decisions about adopting latrines in their homes.